Hello, my name is Maria Santos, a weather forecaster in Manila, where storms shape our lives. For years, I've warned families about typhoons, but nothing prepared me for the moment I died, met Jesus, and saw five events coming in June 2025. I'm a single mother in Quezon City, raising Juan and Ana with prayers and love. Juan 13 is lost to Mobile Legends, his eyes glued to screens, while Anna 8 draws Jesus with crayons asking, Mama, does God see the rain? My faith rooted in Quiapo Church's rosary anchors me. Yet I struggle to reach Juan to heal our Philippines wounded by addiction, social media, and broken families. On May 18, 2025, driving home through Manila's rain, a strange unease gripped me. I prayed, Lord, guide me. Then my car crashed on Pasig Bridge, my heart stopped, and I crossed into a light where God's voice awaited. This isn't just my story, it's a call for you to awaken to pray before the storms arrive. The rain was falling harder now, drumming on the roof of my car as I left the newsroom. Manila's streets shimmered under the storm with jeepneys splashing through puddles and the faint glow of sari stores cutting through the dark. The typhoon was hours away, but its shadow already hung over the city, heavy, restless. I felt it too, a tightness in my chest, not just from the weather, but from something deeper, something I couldn't name. As I started the engine, I whispered a prayer, Lord Jesus, guide me home safely. Protect Juan and Ana, protect our Philippines. The radio crackled to life, playing Salamat Jesus, its melody, a soft comfort against the growing unease in my heart. Driving through Quezon City, my thoughts drifted to my children. Ana, my sweet 8-year-old, would be at home sketching Jesus with her crayons, her small voice asking, Mama, does God send the rain to wash away our sadness? But Juan, my 13-year-old, was another story. He was slipping away, lost in the world of Mobile Legends. His eyes locked on his phone, deaf to my voice, to my love. I saw so many like him across our islands, young hearts chasing likes on TikTok, measuring their worth by filters and followers, drowning in a sea of virtual promises. I wanted to pull him close to say, Juan, you are enough. God sees you, but the words stayed trapped in my throat like prayers unanswered. As I approached the Pasig Bridge, a strange sound broke through the rain's rhythm. It wasn't thunder, but a low hum rising from the earth, like a warning woven into the wind. My chest tightened further, a pressure so intense it felt like the storm was squeezing my soul. I gripped the steering wheel, my hands trembling, and murmured, Lord, I trust you. But my voice wavered. In that moment, images flooded my mind, the shanties of Tondo, sinking under floodwaters, families torn by violence, teenagers lost to addiction, girls chasing impossible beauty standards on Instagram, boys bullying each other to feel strong. Our Philippines, so beautiful, so broken, crying out under a weight heavier than any typhoon. Then it happened. My car skidded on the wet bridge, the tires shrieking as I fought to regain control. The world spun, and with a dull thud, I crashed into the railing. There was no pain, no shattering glass, only silence, deep and absolute, as if time itself had paused. The faint notes of Salamat Jesus lingered on the radio, fading like a distant memory. I didn't know it then, but my heart had stopped for 4 minutes. A stranger braving the rain found me slumped over the wheel, called for help. Doctors at the hospital battled to revive me, their voices urgent, their hands pressing life back into my body. But I was no longer there, not on that bridge, not in that storm. It felt like a gentle hand lifted me, not with force, but with love, like a mother guiding her child from sleep. There was no fear, no chaos, just a stillness so pure it carried the weight of eternity. I didn't see a tunnel of light or hear angels sing. I simply was in a place where the rain couldn't reach, where worries dissolved, where God's presence was as real as the air I no longer needed to breathe. My body lay behind, but my soul was awake, alive, ready to step into the light, ready to hear the voice that would change everything. That was when my journey truly began, not with the crash, but with the crossing. I had left Manila's storms, left the weight of my fears, and entered a place where every prayer I'd ever spoken was alive, waiting for me. I had died, but I was about to discover a truth greater than life itself, a truth meant for our Philippines, for our families, for you. The moment I left my body, I was enveloped in a light so warm, so alive, it felt like the dawn breaking over Manila Bay, but pure, unending. There was no fear, no pain, only a stillness that hummed with love, like the quiet after a storm when the world feels new. I was Maria, still me, but unbound my soul, free from the weight of worries, from the ache of not reaching Juan, from the chaos of our Philippines. I stood in a place that wasn't a place, a light that wasn't blinding, but knowing, breathing as if God himself was holding me in his hands. Then he appeared, not with thunder or a blaze of glory, but with a presence so gentle, so overwhelming, my soul recognized him before my eyes did. Jesus stood before me, his face radiant, his eyes like the calm sea after a typhoon, full of peace yet burning with purpose. He didn't need to say his name. I knew him as if my heart had always known, as if I'd been waiting my whole life for this moment. He looked at me, into me, and I felt seen not just as a mother, a weather forecaster, or a struggling soul, but as his child loved beyond measure.
Maria,
He said, his voice soft as a breeze, yet carrying the weight of eternity.
you have forecasted storms, but you have not yet seen their heart. The winds, the rains, they are my Father's breath calling my people back to me.
I couldn't speak, but my thoughts formed a question, where am I? The answer came not in words, but in a knowing flooding my soul. I was in the pause between rain and rainbow, a sacred space where heaven meets earth, where prayers rise like incense and God's will weaves the winds. Before me, a veil of light shimmered, not solid, but alive, like the mist over Baguio's mountains, woven with purpose. Jesus raised his hand, and the veil parted, revealing a vision of the Philippines, not as a map, but as a living tapestry, its islands pulsing with storms, prayers, and the cries of hearts lost to addiction, to pride, to pain. He stepped closer, his presence a warmth that melted my fears.
Look, Maria,
He said,
the storms you track are not random. They are my voice speaking through clouds, through rain, through the shaking of the earth. But my people have forgotten how to listen.
The vision expanded, and I saw our Philippines from the bustling streets of Manila to the quiet shores of Palawan. But it wasn't just land and sea. I saw a spiritual atmosphere radiant in places where prayers rose like morning dew, in humble churches where families sang, Salamat, Jesus. Yet in other places, a fog hung heavy, woven from the sins we hide, teenagers lost to mobile legends, chasing virtual victories while their souls starved. Young girls trapped by Instagram's false beauty, measuring their worth in likes. Families torn apart by violence, by greed, by silence. I saw Juan, my Juan, his face lit by a screen, and my heart broke, not with guilt, but with a longing to bring him back to God's light.
Maria, your nation weeps.
Jesus said, his voice trembling with love,
But I am near. The storms, the heat, the quakes, they are not punishment. They are invitations calling my people to turn back, to pray, to love.
He waved his hand, and a scroll of light unfurled, not paper, but a living canvas of winds, clouds, and waves tended by angels. They were not the cherubs of church paintings, but beings of purpose. Their movements graceful, guiding typhoons with precision, releasing rain where hearts were parched, holding back floods where faith was strong. I saw an angel over Cebu, his hands shaping the sea's currents, another above Cordillera, cradling snowflakes with care. Jesus turned to me, his eyes alight with truth.
My Father set these guardians before time began.
He said,
They move when my people pray, but they wait when pride and addiction bind the land.
I trembled not with fear, but with wonder. All my years tracking Doppler radar, studying pressure systems, I thought I understood weather. But now I saw it as God's language, a symphony of mercy and warning. The vision shifted and I saw the Philippines again, its spiritual pulse faltering under a haze of social media obsession, bullying in the schools, pornography, stealing innocence, and families too busy to pray together. Yet there was hope. I saw Anna, my little girl, drawing Jesus in her sketchbook, her faith a spark that could light a fire. I saw small churches in Tondo where mothers knelt, praying for sons lost to drugs, their voices rising like a tide against the darkness.
Maria,
Jesus said, his voice now a whisper that shook my soul.
I have shown you the heart of the storm. Now I will show you what is coming. 5 events in June 2025 to awaken my people to call them home.
The scroll pulsed brighter and I felt myself lifted not by force but by grace, into a realm where time dissolved, where every moment carried the weight of eternity. I wasn't ready, but Jesus was. His presence was my strength, his love my guide. I knew in that sacred pause that what I was about to see wasn't just for me, but for our Philippines, for every heart yearning for healing, for every soul ready to listen. As Jesus spoke, the scroll of light pulsed brighter, its glow wrapping around me like the warmth of a Manila sunrise. The air thrummed with purpose, and I felt myself lifted not by force but by grace into a vision so vivid it was as if I stood on every island of our Philippines at once. The tapestry of our nation unfolded, its seas, mountains, and cities alive, breathing, crying out. Jesus stood beside me, his presence steady, his eyes fixed on the horizon.
Maria,
He said, his voice a melody of love and urgency.
these 5 events in June 2025 are not judgments. They are awakenings calling my people to see, to pray, to return to me.
The scroll shifted and the first vision began pulling me into the heart of Luzon. It was June 3, 2025, and a super typhoon roared over Metro Manila, its winds howling through Quezon City's narrow streets, shaking jeepneys and rattling tin roofs in Tondo's shanties. But this was no ordinary storm. The winds moved with purpose like a painter's brush, tearing down neon signs of casinos in Pasay, exposing hidden dens of corruption in government offices, yet leaving small churches untouched, their wooden crosses standing firm. I saw a grandmother in Navotas clutching her rosary untouched as debris swirled inches from her door. The storm wasn't chaos. It was discernment guided by angels whose wings shimmered like rainbows in the gale. I saw Juan, my son, dropping his phone, his eyes wide, joining neighbors to pray in the street, their voices rising above the wind, singing, Salamat, Jesus.
Maria, this typhoon is my cleansing wind.
Jesus said, his voice steady yet tender.
It will uproot what divides my people from my love so they may see my truth.
The vision swept me to Visayas, to June 9, 2025, where the seas around Cebu and Bohol churned under a searing heat. The water didn't just warm, it bubbled as if boiling over an unseen flame, steam rising from the shores like prayers long buried. Fishermen stood frozen on their boats, nets empty, as seagulls circled in confusion. I saw the spiritual weight beneath the waves, altars of greed, of human trafficking hidden in port cities, now exposed by the sea's testimony. Yet hope emerged. On Cebu's beaches, families gathered not in fear but in awe, opening Bibles, singing hymns. A young girl no older than Anna raised her hand, shouting, Lord, let your mercy fall like rain. I saw teenagers once lost to TikTok's filters, pangsia their phones weeping, embracing their parents, their hearts breaking free from the chains of false beauty.
This heat is not to burn Maria.
Jesus whispered, his voice a balm.
It is to purify, to call my people to the shores of my grace.
The scroll turned again and I was in Mindanao on June 14, 2025. The earth groaned beneath Davao and Cotabato, not with a violent quake, but with precise tremors, like the heartbeat of a waking giant. Cracks split open in the ground, not random, but targeted, shattering buildings tied to corruption, to violence, to silenced voices. Yet small barangays glowed with light, their nipa huts untouched, their people praying, under mango trees. I saw an old man in Cotabato, his hands raised, reciting Psalm 23 as the ground trembled and the quake passed him by. Above each fissure, angels stood, holding flaming scrolls, their faces radiant with purpose. The land wasn't rebelling, it was singing, releasing prophecies buried by injustice.
Maria, the earth does not rage.
Jesus said, his voice alive with truth.
It sings the songs of justice my people forgot. Let them hear it.
Then the vision carried me to the Cagayan Valley to June 18th, 2025. The mighty Cagayan River, lifeblood of the north, shrank before my eyes, its waters pulling back like a curtain drawn slowly. Fields that once bloomed with rice turned dry, cracked, mirroring a deeper drought, a spiritual thirst. I saw empty churches, their pews gathering dust, pastors who'd lost their fire, families too busy to pray together. Yet in the midst of this, I saw hope. A group of children led by a girl like Anna stood by the riverbank singing Ang Diyos ay pag-ibig. Their voices, small but pure, drew clouds together, and a single drop fell, sparkling like a promise. I saw Juan too, abandoning his games, joining a prayer circle, his face no longer lit by a screen but by faith.
Even a whisper of prayer can bring rain, Maria.
Jesus said, his voice soft as a lullaby.
Tell them I am listening, waiting for their hearts to turn.
Finally, the scroll revealed Baguio on June 23, 2025. An impossible frost blanketed the Cordillera, its chill settling over pine trees and market stalls, frosting Carabao's breath in the morning air. This wasn't winter's cold, but a divine pause, a hush that silenced arguments in homes, halted fistfights in alleys, stopped the endless scroll of social media. I saw a young boy once, a bully, drop his phone, his eyes wide as he whispered, "God is here." In a small chapel, a priest like Padre Miguel stood, his voice trembling, "He is near." The frost wasn't punishment. It was a moment to listen, to feel God's presence in the stillness, to let go of pride, addiction, and pain.
This cold is my embrace, Maria.
Jesus said, his voice aflame in the frost.
It is a pause, so my people can hear my heart and return to me.
As the visions faded, I stood in awe, my soul trembling with the weight of what I'd seen. The Philippines, our beloved islands, was more than land and sea. It was a canvas of God's mercy, painted with storms, heat, quakes, drought, and frost. I saw our people struggling with gaming addiction, chasing false beauty on Instagram, torn by family rifts, yet called to rise, to pray, to love. I saw Anna's drawings, Juan's awakening, the prayers of mothers in Tondo, all weaving a tapestry of hope. Jesus looked at me, his eyes burning with love.
Maria, these events are mirrors.
He said,
They reflect the heart of my people, but my mercy is greater still. Tell them I am near.
The scroll closed, and I felt the weight of my mission settle into my soul. These 5 events were not just weather, they were God's voice calling our Philippines to awaken, to heal, to return to Him before June 2025 arrived. The light began to fade, not dimming but folding like a gentle curtain drawn across a stage. Jesus' presence lingered, his final words echoing in my soul.
Maria, these events are mirrors, but my mercy is greater still. Tell them I am near.
I felt a pull, not harsh but tender, like a mother calling her child home. The scroll of visions, the angels, the pulsing tapestry of our Philippines all receded, yet their truth burned within me, a fire that could never be extinguished. Suddenly I was falling, not crashing, but descending my soul, rejoining my body like a raindrop returning to the sea. The silence shattered, replaced by the beep of machines, the urgent voices of dockers, the cold sting of an IV in my arm. I opened my eyes, gasping, and saw Juan, my son, his face streaked with tears, clutching my hand, whispering, "Mama, please come back." Anna stood beside him, her small hand holding a crumpled drawing of Jesus, her eyes wide with hope. I was alive, but more than that, I was awake. The hospital room in Manila was dim, its walls echoing with the hum of life and the distant wail of ambulances. But I felt a warmth, a purpose, that no storm could shake. Juan's tears, Anna's drawing, they were signs not just of my return, but of God's work already beginning. I reached for Juan's hand, my voice weak but steady. I am here, anak. God brought me back. He sobbed, burying his face in my shoulder, and for the first time in months, I felt him, my boy, not the one lost to mobile legends, but the one God created, full of promise, full of light. As I recovered, the weight of my mission settled deep in my heart. Jesus had shown me 5 events coming in June 2025. Not to terrify, but to prepare our Philippines, our families, our souls. I saw Luz, my colleague, her eyes wide as I shared my story, her voice trembling, Maria. This is from God. I saw Padre Miguel at Quiapo Church, his hands raised in prayer, urging our parish to gather to pray the rosary, to sing Salamat, Jesus as a shield against the storms ahead. I saw our people from Tondo's shanties to Cebu's shores struggling under the weight of addiction, chasing likes on Instagram, bullying each other in schools, hiding behind screens to escape pain. But I also saw hope in every prayer, every act of love, every heart turning back to God.
Maria, tell them I am near.
Jesus had said, his voice a flame that lit my path. This is why I'm sharing my story with you, my brothers and sisters in the Philippines. If you're hearing this, it's not by chance. God is calling you as He called me to see the storms, not just in the sky, but in our hearts. June 2025 is coming with a super typhoon in Luzon, a searing heat in Visayas, tremors in Mindanao, a drought in Cagayan, and a frost in Baguio. These are not punishments, but God's voice speaking through wind, wave, and earth, urging us to wake up, to pray, to love. I saw our nation beautiful yet broken, its youth lost to gaming, its families torn by silence, its children wounded by bullying, by pornography, by the lie that beauty is a filter on a screen. But I also saw God's mercy greater than our sins waiting to heal us. I'm just a weather forecaster, a mother, a sinner saved by grace. Why did God choose me? Because I know storms, but I forgot they carry His voice. Because I read clouds, but He taught me they read us too. My mission is to warn you, not to scare you, but to prepare you. Start now in your homes, in your barangays, in your hearts. Put down the phone, turn off the game, look into your children's eyes, and pray together. Gather your family, read the Bible, sing Ang Diyos ay pag-ibig, and let God's light fill the spaces where darkness crept in. Forgive each other as God forgives you. Love each other as He loves us. I saw a Philippines healed where Juan no longer needs a screen to feel strong, where Anna's drawings inspire faith, where mothers in Tondo pray and see their sons come home. I saw churches filled not with empty pews, but with families singing, weeping, praising. I saw our youth free from TikTok's chains, from bullying's scars, standing tall in God's truth. This is possible if we listen, if we pray, if we act. June 2025 is not the end, but a beginning, a checkpoint where God says,
I am near, and my mercy is yours.
every night now I kneel with Juan and Anna before our small altar, a statue of Our Lady of Peña Francia glowing under candlelight. We pray the rosary, our voices blending with the hum of Manila outside. Juan no longer plays Mobile Legends. He reads Psalm 23 with me, his voice soft but sure. Anna draws Jesus her crayons, tracing a smile that mirrors the one I saw in that light. As we sing Salamat, Jesus, I feel it, the fire Jesus lit in me, the truth He entrusted to me. I'm not afraid of June 2025 because I know God's mercy outweighs all. He is near and He is calling you, calling us to rise to love, to be His light in the storm.
I clung to Jesus' light, my heart yearning to stay in His embrace, but His gentle touch on my forehead carried a promise, a mission. Go, Clara.
Go, my child, and tell them.
Weeks later at our barangay home, I gathered Nanay Miggy and Lola Teresa during our evening rosary. My voice trembled, sharing Jesus' vision, the screens, the shadows, the moments we'd lost. Nanay wept, confessing her own Facebook addiction. Miggy, shamefaced, admitted sneaking Roblox past midnight. We made a pact, a wooden box for phones during family time Sunday, meriendas filled with laughter, pandesal, and stories. Nanay deleted her social media, Miggy set game timers, and Lola led us in nightly prayers. At school, I told my friend Liza, who burned with anxiety from Snapchat filters. She quit her smile, returning her mother, thanking Nanay with a tearful embrace. I still falter sometimes, scrolling on Nanay's phone, the pull strong, but Jesus' light nudges me, guiding me back to his path. Our home, once dim with screens, now glows with love, a testament to his mercy, a beacon for our barangay to choose God's truth over the enemy's lies. But Jesus' light nudges me, guiding me back to his path. Our home, once dim with screens, now glows with love, a testament to his mercy, a beacon for our barangay to choose God's truth over the enemy's lies. But Jesus' light nudges me, guiding me back to his path. Our home, once dim with screens, now glows with love, a testament to his mercy, a beacon for our barangay to choose God's truth over the enemy's lies. But Jesus' light nudges me, guiding me back to his path. Our home, once dim with screens, now glows with love, a testament to his mercy, a beacon for our barangay to choose God's truth over the enemy's lies. But Jesus' light nudges me, guiding me back to his path. Our home, once dim with screens, now glows with love, a testament to his mercy, a beacon for our barangay to choose God's truth over the enemy's lies. But Jesus' light nudges me, guiding me back to his path.
Maria, some will mock, but all will feel what is coming.
I pressed on, not with anger, but with love, knowing God's mercy is greater than doubt. I visited communities from Palawan's shores to Cordillera's peaks, sharing my story, urging families to pray, to turn from gaming addiction, from pornography, from the endless scroll of social media. I saw a young girl in Bohol, once obsessed with filters, smile without makeup, saying, "God made me beautiful." I saw a boy in Cotabato once, a gamer, lead a youth group, teaching others to pray instead of play. Each story was a miracle, a sign that God was moving, that June 2025 was not a deadline, but a doorway to revival. Now, as I speak to you, my brothers and sisters, I see our Philippines at a crossroads. We are a people of faith, of resilience, of love. But we are also a people wounded by screens that steal our children, by violence, that scars our homes, by lies that dim our worth. June 2025 is coming, but God's mercy is here, now waiting for us to rise. Start in your homes, with your children, with your neighbors. Put down the phone, open the Bible, sing Salamat Jesus, and let God's light fill your heart. Forgive those who hurt you. Love those who feel unlovable. Pray for those lost in addiction, in bullying, in despair. I see a Philippines where churches overflow, where families pray together, where youth stand tall, free from TikTok's chains, from gaming's grip. I see Juan and Ana growing in faith, leading others to God. I see you, yes you, as God's light shining in the storm. Jesus said,
Maria, tell them, my mercy outweighs all.
Every Sunday I kneel at Quiapo Church, my hands clasped, my heart full. I pray for our nation, for every soul hearing this story. I'm not afraid of June 2025 because I know God is near, His mercy, a shield, His love, a guide. He is calling you, calling us to be His hands, His voice, His hope. Let's rise, Philippines. Let's pray, let's love, and let's meet the storms with faith together as God's beloved children. As I stand here today sharing this story, I feel the weight of God's love, a love so vast it carries me, my family, our Philippines through every storm. Jesus' voice still echoes in my heart,
Maria, tell them, my mercy outweighs all.
a promise that has become my life song, my legacy, my hope. The months since my return have been a journey of faith, not just for me, but for those I have touched and those who've touched me. In our small apartment in Quezon City, where the scent of adobo lingers and the taho vendor's call wakes us each dawn, I see a miracle unfold. Juan, my son, once lost to the glow of Mobile legends, now leads a youth group at our parish, his voice bold as he shares Psalm 23 with boys who, like him, once hid behind screens. Anna, my little girl, her crayons worn from drawing Jesus, has inspired a children's art exhibit at Quiapo Church. Her sketches of Christ's smile lighting up hearts in Tondo, in Navotas, in every corner where hope was dim. My children, my heart are proof that God's mercy can heal, can restore, can make all things new. But the miracle stretches far beyond our home. Across the Philippines, I see seeds of revival taking root, seeds planted by prayers, by love, by the truth Jesus showed me. In Cebu, a mother whose son was freed from drug addiction kneels in a barangay chapel, her tears mixing with gratitude as she sings Salamat Jesus. In Davao, a father and daughter once divided by silence hold hands at Mass, their forgiveness a light that others follow. Baguio, a teenager once a bully scarred by social media's lies, now mentors younger kids, teaching them that God's love is greater than any Instagram filter. These stories, these lives are the design of faith, a tapestry woven by God's grace, by our willingness to listen, to pray, to rise. Yet I see our Philippines still wrestling with shadows. I see young hearts chasing TikTok fame, measuring their worth in likes, losing themselves to games, to pornography, to the false beauty that dims their God-given light. I see families torn by violence, by addiction, by the silence that grows when we forget to pray together. I see children wounded by bullying, their spirits crushed by words sharper than knives. These are the storms within us, the ones Jesus showed me, the ones He longs to calm. Maria, tell them I am near. He said, His voice a beacon in the dark. This is why my heart aches to reach you, my brothers and sisters, with a message that burns like a candle in a storm. June 2025 is not a distant warning. It is a call to live differently now, to love fiercely now, to pray unceasingly now. I dream of a Philippines where every home is a sanctuary, where parents and children kneel together, reciting the rosary, their voices drowning out the noise of screens. I dream of churches overflowing not with empty pews but with families, with youth singing Ang Diyos ay pag-ibig, their hearts ablaze with God's truth. I dream of you, yes you, standing tall, free from addiction, from bullying, from shame, shining as God's beloved child. This dream is not mine alone. It is God's promise, a legacy we build together. Every time you choose love over anger, prayer over distraction, forgiveness over pride, you weave a thread into this tapestry of hope. Every time you turn off the game, close the app, and look into your child's eyes, you plant a seed for revival. Every time you gather at Quiapo Church, at your barangay chapel, at your kitchen table, and sing Salamat Jesus, you call down God's mercy. A mercy that will carry us through the typhoon, the heat, the quakes, the drought, the frost of June 2025. I am Maria, a mother, a weather forecaster, A sinner saved by grace. I have no power of my own, but I carry His, the one who walked through storms, who calmed the seas, who loves us beyond measure. As I kneel each night with Juan and Anna, our small altar glowing under candlelight, I pray for you, for our Philippines, for every heart hearing this story. I see Anna's drawings, Juan's courage, the mothers of Tondo, the youth of Cebu, all part of God's plan. A plan that begins with us now, today.
Maria, tell them, my mercy outweighs all.
Jesus said, and I will never stop telling you. So rise, Philippines, rise with faith, with love, with hope. Let's build a legacy not of fear, but of prayer, not of division, but of unity, not of storms, but of God's eternal light. June 2025 is coming, but God is here. His arms open, His mercy boundless. Let's walk toward Him together as His beloved children singing Salamat Jesus, our voices a chorus that echoes through eternity. My journey beyond life revealed the truth. Storms are God's voice calling us to awaken, to heal, to love. Jesus told me, Maria, tell them, my mercy outweighs all. Philippines. Our nation faces storms within gaming addiction, stealing our youth, social media dimming our worth, families torn by silence. But God is near, His mercy, ready to restore us. June 2025 is coming, not to punish, but to invite us to pray, to forgive, to rise. Start today. Put down the phone, gather your family, pray the rosary, sing Salamat Jesus. Subscribe to our channel, share this story, and join us in building a Philippines of faith, love, and hope. Let's prepare our hearts together for God's light shines brightest in the storm. Join us in this mission. Subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, leave a comment, and be part of His plan. Jesus is calling. Will you answer?